Most men over 50 believe their most valuable asset is either their pension pot, their paid up family home, their stocks and shares, their car, maybe the sport car they've now managed to be able to buy, their rental properties, or something they've got in the garage, maybe a vintage car. Now, I'm here to tell you that those are not your most valuable assets. Your most valuable asset is your health span. Now, let me explain what I mean by health span. Some of you know this, but let me just explain in terms of the context for this video. We all tend to optimize for a longer life. There's a lot of groups out there that talk about living longer, which is fine, centenarians, which is fine. But what I'm talking about here is health span, which is how healthy you live during your normal longevity period. So if you live 80 years of age, 90 years of age, 100 years of age, how much of that life is healthy and allows you to live a very good quality of life? That's what I'm defining here as health span. Now, my assertion is that your health span is your most valuable asset, more than your paid up family home, more than your pension pot, more than your cars, more than your investment properties, more than your stocks and shares. Your health span is the most valuable asset. Now, let's talk through it. You might agree, probably you will agree just casually. Yeah, okay, fine, I get it. It's good to be healthy. But agreeing is one thing, but behaving as though you agree is another thing. For many years, I myself always said that my health span is the most important thing, but I still prioritized and optimized for having a bigger pension pot, paying off my house, and doing everything to have a material asset. Now, what I came to realize when I reached the age of 62, 2 years ago, I'm 64 today, I realized none of those assets matter if I didn't have the health span, if I wasn't healthy and felt very good about myself. Now, a lot of people leave that until it's very late. So I'm here to say to you that your most valuable asset, the thing you should optimize for, it does not mean you neglect the other things. Heck, we should have it all. But if you had to take one thing, that's how you realize whether you're optimizing for it. Your health span should be number one. Now, a lot of you over 50, particularly men, you've already got a good sizable pot, so you're not starting from zero. You've already paid off your homes. You've already got an emergency fund even in the case of anything happens. And you've grown up your children, you probably educated them, and they've now started on their own lives. But still, even though you have all this, you still may not have started to take your health and your health plan seriously. Now, you've got all the assets. You probably now have time, or you will soon have time if you haven't retired yet. But you are missing the most critical component, the most valuable asset, which is your health span. Now, let me tell you why, as if it wasn't obvious, why health span is the most valuable asset. Now, firstly, if you had all the assets I've just listed, a pension pot, a very rich pension pot, and you became very ill, now, you will not like it, you will not enjoy it, it will be absolutely useless. And definitely, if you paid up a home, a very beautiful home, and you lived in there, and tend to be oversized homes anyway, after the children have left, and you are not in a healthy condition, you will not appreciate that home. And worse, your partner, your wife, will also be burdened by your condition. So it's quite important that you realize that without your health span, your house, your pension pot will not get you anywhere. The same thing, if you've done everything for your children, you've grown them up and they've gone away and they've started on their own careers, on their own lives, maybe their own families, and you're not in a very good health condition, the likelihood is you're not able to either A, be visiting them, because they will be very busy and they will not be able to come back and visit you as often. Now, again, that's another thing that you will not be optimizing for in your old age. When you have the time, you have got all the resources, but now, because of your ill health, you're not able to continue the relationship with your children, your grown-up children. That is such unfortunate. So again, having all the assets already, which we tend to spend decades building, and then the one most important thing, which is our health, that's always the last thing that shows up. It almost only shows up, and I should know this, because I left my health until I was 62, until about 2 years ago, when I totally realized all the pension pot I've accumulated, my beautiful home, my investment homes, all of them meant very little when I had lost my health. I suddenly had to realize that Healthspan is the most important thing. Now, if you are lucky enough, or if you are clever enough to have started to prioritize this at a very early age, it is the same thing as building for your pension pot. You'll be building good health, good habits, muscle mass, which will help you fight off diseases, and keeping your weight down, and having the good habits of healthy eating. All those things constitute the asset of what I call your health span. It's quite important that it becomes number one. Very often, by the time we are 50 or over, we've done everything for everybody else. We've done everything for our employers. We've done everything for our house, the bank. We've done everything for our children, as good as that is. But the thing we haven't done is not a lot for ourselves. Now, I'm always reminded, one of my favorite saying is the airline saying, which says, you have to put on your oxygen mask first before you help others in the event of an emergency. That for me is so true in real life. It's so true in terms of health. We always try to put oxygen masks on other people, as good as that may be, but we forget to put the oxygen mask for ourselves. And suddenly our health is the last thing that shows up. So it's quite important to prioritize that, and not only prioritize it, but optimize for it. Because if you have your health span, and let's say you didn't have a large pension pot, you'll be still able to continue to do something in your later years which you love, which will continue to bring you income. If you are healthy and you're not very wealthy, you'll still be able to enjoy life with a modest amount of income or modest amount of savings. And you'll still be able to connect with your children and your grandchildren. But with bad health conditions, with diseases, and particularly if you're immobile, you're highly unlikely to appreciate any of the assets that you will have accumulated. So, in short, if you're over 50 and you haven't done this before, ideally you should have done it as early enough. In fact, at the same time you started contributing to a pension, at the same time you're fighting to get home, you should be building your body. Your body is your home. In fact, it's your first home before even your house or your home. If you haven't done that and you're over 50, it's late, but it's not too late. You can reverse it, as I've already proven it myself. I urge you to take all the steps to begin to prioritize your health and optimize for it. Now, this is not too complicated. This is quite simple to do. In fact, the system I use, called the EVERPRIME system, is a 5-step system, and I've got several videos on this channel that talks about it. Now, I'll quickly summarize them here. You can go and watch one of the videos where I talk about the full system. I've also got the morning routine, which is part of that system, which you can go and listen to after this video. But quickly, the first thing on a daily basis I do is I've got the morning routine. Within that morning routine, I've got the hydrolyzed drinking water and mineralized, taking some minerals to make sure my body is chemically ready. I prime my body physically. There are 2 things there. I do strength training, body weight exercise. Then I also do cardio. There are 2 things there. I do high intensity interval training, 2-3 minutes. Then I do basically zone 2 cardio, which is long walks, or I just ride very slowly on my exercise bike. And sometimes I do the cardio itself on the exercise bike itself, the HIIT. And all it takes is about 2 minutes. Now, there is a full video about that. I've also got a PDF, which I can send you if you wanted it. You can just go to the second link in the description of this video and you request for it, and I can send it to you. And you can follow it for 30 days. You'll be amazed how you change your life. Just the morning routine. Then in addition to the morning routine, I also strive to make sure I eat only natural foods. So no processed foods at all, unless if I had absolutely no choice. And we all got the choice. So I try to eat whole natural foods only. And I drink water only, and coffee and creatine. And I also try to make sure I maintain a positive mental attitude. Now, this last bit here, some people will say it's woo-woo, positive mental attitude. But I can tell you now, the ability to think positive, to be optimistic in life is so crucial. It's such a big pillar for me, for my health system, not least because it means I don't get stressed and I don't secrete cortisol in my system, which is another poison. But it also ensures that I am grateful and happy for the things I have, including the fact that I don't over worry about the size of my pension pot. I don't worry about getting bigger homes, even though I've got a beautiful home, I've got a sizable pot. And I am quite grateful. Now, that does not mean I stop optimizing. It does not mean I stop growing. In fact, the optimism keeps me growing. At my age, at the age of 64, a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my friends believe you should be sitting down, putting your feet up and drinking a glass of wine or drinking a pint of beer at the pub with your older friends. Now, I feel today as I felt when I was in my 30s. I definitely feel today better than in my 40s or 50s. That's partly because of what I've done to my health, but it's also because of my positive mental attitude and my positivity. So, in summary, this is not about me, it's what I'm urging you to do. Now, if you need help with this, the system I've got has been proven. All it needs is to be installed in your own life for 30 to 60 days, longest 90 days. You'll be amazed the change that will make to your life. If you need that help, just go to the first link in the description and reach out, and I'll come back to you personally via WhatsApp, and I'll try to help you. Now, this has done for me so much that I cannot wait to share it with everybody. So let's go.